What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back with another channel announcement. Almost said back in the world of real life, but it just seems a little weird. This is basically going to be a channel announcement, kind of bringing you guys up to date with some of the stuff that we've done on Twitter, Facebook, well, maybe not Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and the stream. Because I know a lot of you guys don't necessarily follow me on Twitter. You should. Don't go into the Discord room. You totally should, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully this will get you guys the answers to some of your questions, what's going on. And this is going to be a little bit long. It's just going to be basically me rambling, and hopefully my computer will work because this is the second time I'm recording it. I was about halfway through, about 20 minutes into it, when the monitors on my computer just decided to shut down. So I don't know if the GPU is going out. I don't know if just something is trying to tell me to quit trying. I don't know. It's frustrating. I just hate having computer problems. Never going to do this again. I will build my own computers from here on, just hoping I can survive till I can afford another box, because this one is apparently cursed. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's get into the channel updates. So one of the biggest questions you guys have been asking me is Skyrim. Are we going to be playing the new SE edition? And the short answer is no. The longer answer is there is no difference between the SE version and the Steam version with mods. You could get better graphics, etc., long before the SE version came out. Yes, I understand if you're a console player, then it's a different experience. If you're a PC player, other than the fact that it's now 64-bit, there's no reason to get excited about it, at least in my opinion. We have over 300 hours of Skyrim. We have played it forwards, backwards, sideways, diagonally, blindfolded. There's very little that we have not done in Skyrim. We've played all of the conversion mods, Percus Maximus, Perma. We've done them all. I even tried Enderal, which I did not like. Some of you guys have been asking, what happened to Enderal? I hated it. It was a story-driven version of Skyrim, which is fine. The problem with it was very long-winded. It had a kind of a clunky combat system, at least the way I was playing it. I didn't like the skill system at all. And I think the thing that really broke it for me was the skill system, combat, plus no fast travel. No fast travel requires me to walk everywhere, which is fun at first, but after a while, it's just penalizing. It's penalizing for no reason. It's like, why do I need to walk back to my quest NPC and then back to town, which is going to take me 15 minutes when there's no content between there? You know, if there was something like the first time you do it, you can pump in highwaymen and bandits and things like that, and that's a reason to do it. The second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th times, it's just me being an asshole. Yes, there's recall scrolls, but you can't recall everywhere you need to go. And it got to the point where it's just a pain in the ass. Plus, if you need the recall scrolls, you can't buy, it cuts into your money, which you need for books and things like that. And I didn't like it. A lot of you are going to have obviously differences of opinion there. That's just mine. For those of you guys, I actually had a couple of people ask about Fallout 4's the hardcore survival mode that we were doing. Same basic reason. I didn't like the overly punishing gameplay style. Didn't like the fact that we had to get a mod to quick save and the no fast travel. It's just not fun. It's just not fun. Those types of games, like the Skyrim and those types of games, require you to repeat the same areas over and over again for a lot of reasons. And if I can't quick travel, it's hours of time that's just wasted, and it annoys me. So if it's a first playthrough, that's one thing. But once we're on, with like Skyrim, that would be like our 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th playthrough. For Fallout, that's like our 3rd or 4th. It's just, there's no reason to. So I'm sorry. I know that upset some of you. Just trying to be honest. So let's talk about the channel, what we're going to be doing over the next month, et cetera, et cetera. A little bit of background for those of you guys who don't know. I've been doing this for 5 years as of 2 days ago. So yay. That being said, for the last couple of years, the YouTube side of things has been on a pretty strict decline. And that's due to a lot of reasons. A lot of it's due to the fact that I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I like doing a lot of different things, which fragments the audience. If I'm playing this one week, this next week, and that the week after, the people who like A may not like B, may not like C, and vice versa. And so when you're catering to that many different types of audiences, while it's nice to have a lot of people that you can cater to, it's not so good when you don't cater to them again. So me building an audience for Skyrim, for instance, does me no good if I don't ever play a game like Skyrim again, which I usually do with Fallout and things like that. But when you go 3, 4, 5 years sometimes between one of those games, if I've got 20,000 people who are only interested in Skyrim, it really does me no good if I'm now playing H1Z1 Civ 6 and something else. So that's kind of the issue that we're getting into. So my focus, and the other problem is when you're in financial crisis, my job has not paid all of my bills pretty much in the last 6 months, and my savings is basically at this point is gone. I'm basically out of time, so I'm gonna have to do some other things. And part of the problem is the last couple months I've been struggling with depression, struggling with just getting my life in order, realizing, okay, we may have to make a big change. When you've done something like this for the last 5 years and now you're gonna have to go do something else, it's kind of hard because this type of thing, it's your own personal business. It's something you've poured a lot of yourself into, and to possibly lose that, and I haven't lost it yet, but possibly losing that, it did send me on a bit of a spiral. So for about the last 4 months I've been kind of out of it. I took kind of with my computer going down, it was kind of a blessing because it gave me about 2 weeks to kind of just catch my breath and do some hard thinking. And so I think what I'm going to try, there were a couple different options. There were basically 3 options. And I'll go over the 2 that we're not doing and explain why. And then we'll go over the one that we are doing, and then we'll kind of go from there. So the first one that I thought about doing was tips and tricks. Tips and tricks is basically what I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of the views on my channel are for. When Skyrim came out, it was a game that was huge and had a lot of stuff in it, and I attacked the tips and tricks. A lot of you discovered me through that, trying to figure out how to do X, Y, Z, or whatever in Skyrim. And I tried to carry that over to other games. The problem is some games are really good with tips and tricks and other games are not. Recently, I've been doing some MMOs, and I think I did 6 MMO tips and tricks videos, which pulled more views pretty much in those 6 videos than the rest of my videos for that time period combined. So there's a lot of power in tips and tricks view wise, but the problem is content wise, it's kind of soulless in the aspect that there's not much of you in it. People are there to figure out what you're trying to show them, and then that's it. It also has a tendency not to convert very heavily. So, let's say 100 people watch your tips and tricks, probably only 10 people are going to subscribe, unless you're heavily into the game that they're interested in. So on top of that, yes, MMOs are great for that when they first come out. But again, with MMOs and things like that, WoW has an expansion every year and a half. Yes, Black Desert Online came out this year, but there's not many other big mainstream MMOs coming out in the next year. So while I might be able to make 10, 20, 30 videos on a new game when it comes out, I could have 6 months before the next one comes out. And that's where I start to struggle with the transition on tips and tricks. So while I can do them, I'm not quite at the point to where I could find consistent daily and weekly content to where tips and tricks could be doable long term. And like I said, it kind of, so, some of the MMOs I could do, Warframe would be easy. Warframe would be a layup. I could do tips and tricks on Warframe forever. The problem with Warframe is I would have to do nothing else but Warframe, because either that or I'd have to invest, probably maybe $1,000 into Warframe to get all of the stuff I need. Maybe not $1,000, maybe a couple $100. But, I don't have any of the mods. I don't have any of the frames. I don't have, Prime access. And so I'd have to go through, get all of the rare mods that I need, which is going to require platinum or a ridiculous amount of grinding. And basically that would be all I would have time to do. And while Warframe's kind of fun, I don't know if I want to play it 40 hours a week for the next 6 months. So and the same thing kind of with World of Warcraft and things along those lines. There's a lot of tips and tricks to do in there, but I don't think those types of games are a game that I can play daily 6-10 hours a day. And some of you are like, oh, I could totally do that, man. Fuck my job. I hate this. I sit in a cubicle. Well, you say that, but if you're playing a game that isn't as much more entertaining after a certain point, like, don't get me wrong, I love Warframe, but 40 hours a week for 6 months starts to get to the point where, you know, like, I love ice cream. Give me some ice cream. Okay. Lunch. Oh yeah, ice cream's good. Dinner. Okay, yeah, ice cream's good. Next day. Fuck, can I just get a different flavor? No, it's vanilla. Oh, okay. You know, and after about 2 weeks, it's like, dude, I will fucking kill for a steak. So that's kind of where we're running into. So that's why I kind of leaned away from the tips and tricks thing. That comes to Let's Plays. Let's Plays is kind of what I've been doing for the past couple of years. I started off with tips and tricks, and then you people, some people on the channel kind of encouraged me to do Let's Plays with Skyrim. And I'd never heard of what a Let's Play was before that. So with Let's Plays, a lot more of the personality comes in, and you do have a lot more variety. The problem with Let's Plays is they're a lot harder to target. Like tips and tricks, they're easy. You know, I can cover, you know, how to get the most effective way to pour black pepper out of a McCormick box. That is a very specific search, target, and demographic. And there's going to be a lot of people that are interested in that. Pretend this is like a quest in World of Warcraft. Whereas playing, you know, a game, the demographics there are much wider. So yes, there might be a lot more people that are interested in watching a Let's Play, but it's also flooded with a lot more people. Whereas people playing, let's say World of Warcraft, you got 14 million people. Out of those 14 million people, let's say 1 million is playing a Druid class. Out of that 1 million people playing the Druid class, 500,000 are going to get stuck on the quest that you got stuck on. That's a very specific demographic and a genre that you can pull and target very easily. Whereas a no stealth, no detect run in Deus Ex, a lot of people are going to be looking for it, but there's going to be a lot of people covering it, and it's not as big, and it's a lot harder to target. So one is very specific, one is very general. And when you're talking about general and discovery with SEO and things along those lines, it's very hard to get popped, or at least I'm too stupid or so stupid at the point that I haven't figured it out. It may be there. There's obviously people who do succeed with it, but I'm not one of them that has succeeded with it yet over the past 3 years. Granted, I've made a lot of mistakes. The other issue, in my opinion, with Let's Plays is they vary. So for instance, some of the stuff that I would like to do, I would love to get 1001% on Binding of Isaac. I would love to play Divinity Original Sin and Pillars of Eternity. I would love to do moves on a lot of indie games and things along those lines. My issue that I have with that is, one, you know, we played Binding of Isaac pretty hardcore for about a month and a half, and I never saw growth off of it. Some of the videos, let me pull this up real quick. I'm not sure how many videos I did on Binding of Isaac. I think it was like 50. Maybe it was as many as 80. Let's see. 66 episodes. And out of 66 episodes, the vast majority of them did not get over 300 views. In fact, a lot of them got 200 to 250 views. Now, some people could say that's just because I'm bad at Binding of Isaac, and that may be the case. But you know, I covered Binding of Isaac for quite a while. It looks like February to April, and April was my last episode. So it just didn't grow. So and I tried to SEO those, but you know, I'm dealing with, like I said, a lot more general stuff. And yes, I can target specific challenges in there, but there's just a lot of other people covering a lot of other stuff out there, and it's very hard to get noticed. So, but anyways, Binding of Isaac, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin. I would like to do a Moo series and things along those lines. But like I said, you know, just because you enjoy Binding of Isaac doesn't mean you're going to like Divinity Original Sin, or vice versa. So if I spend a month getting 1001% on Binding of Isaac, you may not want to watch Divinity Original Sin after that. And I might anger those viewers by not covering that game anymore. Very similar to the way Skyrim has been and notoriously is, you know, and vice versa. So we start running into a situation where I'm covering a lot of different games, a lot of different demographics, and I'm not sure people would transition well, and it's very hard for me to grow that way. But ideally, if I were able to do that, it would probably be something along the lines of, this week we're going to be playing, next 2 weeks we'll be playing Binding of Isaac and Binding of Isaac Hardcore. We stream it for, 6 to 8 hours a day, and that footage gets dropped to YouTube in bite-sized chunks, and you're looking at a lot of videos a day. The problem with it is that people on YouTube aren't going to like 6 to 10 videos in their feed every day. You're not going to get search targeted very specifically with that. And it's a little bit more, it's just a little bit different content that I don't think appeals. It's something I would love to do. And, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of variety streamers on, YouTube who can pull that off. Dan's Gaming's one of them. He does very well with his stuff. Manverse Game to an extent, although Manverse Game is more like Dark Souls and kind of very hard niche indie games. I just don't know. I don't know how they do it, and I don't think it would very well work for me. It hasn't worked in the past for me. You can probably come up with a bunch of reasons why. I don't know. So what we've decided to do is we're going to be moving into, I'm going to be focusing on streaming for the next couple weeks. You guys are going to get highlights very similar to what you've gotten recently, but now that I have my PC back, you're going to get them more frequently. We're going to be working on, the road to royalty with H1Z1. We're going to be working on getting higher up in the rank system in Overwatch, playing Battlefield 1 for fun. And there may be a little bit of other games like Dead by Daylight. Where is it? Warframe, maybe a little War Thunder and World of War Tanks, World of Warships. Maybe those last 3, they're kind of all grindy, but definitely the first couple. Doing some testing with those, it seems like I can pull search pretty easily with those. Some videos are going to do really well. A lot of them are not, but some of them I can at least get traffic with those. I can do that game very consistently. I can play H1Z1 10 hours a day for the next 6 months and enjoy myself. And there's going to consistently be games like those to come out in the future. So it's not going to stagnate any more than it always is. And it's very reactionary, which I think is one of the things that I do well with. It's kind of like with Skyrim, when 3 dragons attack me, my reactions are funny. You guys enjoy them. I enjoy playing it. So playing PvP games in that system and in that genre allows me to consistently make that type of content for you guys. So, some dude jumping out of the closet, shooting me in the face. I'm going to freak out, scream. You guys are going to laugh. Everybody's happy. So that's kind of what we're looking to do for the next month and a half. If things go well, and so far they seem to be, then, in the next 4 to 6 months, we'll stabilize, and then we can start adding a little spice to the program. If we can get, what I'm going to try and do, Patreon, you guys are familiar with Patreon, hopefully. Patreon is a system that has goals. So you have, we hit $500 and this happens. We hit $1,000, this happens. We hit $1,500, this happens. We hit $2,000, this happens. I'm trying to see if there's a way for me to do the same thing with GameWisp. And I know there is, but I haven't figured out. I don't think GameWisp has a way to do it internally. So if I can figure out a way to do it externally, then if we can hit certain benchmarks, then I would like to work Let's Plays back in. And the way it basically works is we are on a 5-day-a-week schedule right now. Either I would take those 5 days and either 1 or 2 would become Let's Play days, or we would add a 6th day and 2 of them would become Let's Play days. So during that time, we would pick a game. I would give you guys basically a list of games like right now, Binding of Isaac, Divinity Original Sin, and a couple others. And you guys would pick, and whichever one we picked, then I would play it and play it aggressively on those 2 or 3 days. The footage would get kicked to YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. So the problem is I got to be able to eat first, and I hate doing that. But, right now and for the last 6 months, which is part of the reason my content has been weird is, you know, when you're not making your bills, when you're not paying your bills, when you're worried, okay, am I going to be able to make rent next month? Am I going to be able to feed myself next month? How am I going to pay my car payment next month? You know, it's like somebody's got a gun to your head and you're doing your job and you're focused on it, but all you're really focused on is that gun to your head, and it's depressing. And I've been depressed for the last 4 months. And I know that sounds terrible, but, just being honest, I've been in, kind of a sad place. I've gained some weight because, comfort foods, I'm up about 20 pounds. It's rough. It's rough. And, that's not y'all's fault. That's my fault. So please don't take it like I'm bitching or crying or begging or blaming, because this is my fault. This is my choices that I've made to put me in this situation, not you guys. So, but because of that, it's affected my content. So, this is pretty much last month. I need to figure out how to make this work, or I need to do something else while I rebuild this. So if I can make this work, and so far it's looking good, if I can make this work, we will continue into the new year. If I can't make this work, mid-December, early January, I'll be looking for a job, find work. And then at that point, depending on what job I get, how hard I have to work there, like, is it a 40-hour-a-week job? Is it a 60-hour-a-week job? Am I going to have to move? Can I stay here? How much am I going to make? Is it enough to cover everything? Am I going to have to do that in YouTube, et cetera, et cetera? That will depend on what we do. So if that happens, I'll let you guys know once we get there. And again, I'm not begging for money. I don't want you guys to think I am. I'm just trying to notify you guys. So if we get a drastic change, and all of a sudden YouTube stops for a month and a half or 2 months, it's not weird. So I definitely won't quit YouTube or streaming. I will endeavor to do one or the other. If I do have to go back to work, keep in mind though, at that point, the job will be number one, school will be number two, and then YouTube and streaming would be number three. So right now, YouTube's number one, school's number two, and everything else comes after that. So we'll just see where we end up. So I think the H1Z1 Overwatch Battlefield stuff is going to be good. I think it's going to be funny. I'm going to be able to make highlights for you guys, and it's going to take me a week or two to get a format right. So eventually I would like to get a format to you guys very similar to, if you guys are familiar with Jericho, something very similar to that, where you kind of get highlights from the stream, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to post the full clips to stream, but I don't think you guys want to watch, like, we did an 18-hour stream on Saturday. You guys don't want an 18-hour YouTube video. You don't want 2 9-hour videos. And I can hear you already. You're like, well, then post them in 1-hour clips. Well, that's not true. A lot of people do not want 18 1-hour YouTube clips dropped in their feed. So, and considering I'll be streaming 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's 30 hours of YouTube content. 90% of people I do not think are going to want that type of content. So we can try it. If you guys do, I have no problems direct uploading the live footage from Twitch direct to YouTube every day. Most likely what it would come down to is either you would get a full 6-hour clip, or I'd break it into 2 3-hour clips, and you'd have to just skip the breaks. They have done a lot of stuff on Twitch recently, which is allowing me, I think, and I'm checking that right now, it allows me to download certain video yes, so I can download, holy shit, yeah, it's gonna let me download the entire footage. So with that going, that may work. I may be able to do something like that. I don't know. We'll see. So, let me know in the comment section from you guys. And keep in mind, I have to go with the majority here. I know there are some of you who like certain things, and I do too. But you got to realize, there are people out there who like, kiwi and papaya on their pizza. But the vast majority of people want pepperoni and cheese. So at the moment, for the next month or so, I'm going to have to target pepperoni and cheese. And, it's not because I'm trying to be an asshole to any of you guys. It's not because I don't love you guys. It's not because I don't want to be the YouTuber that you need and deserve. It's just, I want to be able to keep doing this. And to be able to keep doing this for you, I have to be able to keep my ass in the seat, which means I have to be able to eat, pay my bills. And, that means I need to come up with, $2,200 a month, give or take. So we're gonna see where we end up. We're gonna see what happens. But I know a lot of you guys don't follow me on Twitter. You don't follow me on Discord. You should. Both of the links are in the description below, so you guys may not know what's going on. So for right now, Let's Plays are going to kind of be suspended while we work on this other content. If I can hit the benchmarks that I need, we can start testing Let's Plays, and then who knows? Maybe we can transition into full-blown Let's Plays again in the future, and under different conditions, different styles, different upload schedules that'll work. We'll see. We'll see. So, as always, feel free to leave me any, recommendations, any requests, things that you guys like, but just keep in mind, and I'll say it again, I won't be playing Skyrim. I can't. And it's, like I said, it's not because I'm trying to let you down. It's just because I've played that shit to hell and back, and I cannot get excited for it. So that is, I don't know, man. It's kind of like watching The Land Before Time. When you first watched it, it was hilarious, but your 2-year-old nephew wants to watch it 5 times a day, and about the 47th time you watch it, you want to just grab the disc, break it over your knee, and throw it into the backyard. And that's kind of where I'm at with Skyrim. So at least I'm being honest. So we'll see where we go from here. You're still going to probably get a lot of moves on the channel. You may occasionally get a Let's Play here and there. We'll see. But keep in mind, this is just for the next 3 to 4 weeks while we figure things out and see if we can't transition. Keep in mind, we do have a new Pyropedia document. That's also going to be in the video description below. That's going to cover the new events and the new contests, giveaways, and things like that we're going to cover. Not all of it's in there yet, but it will grow. We do have a contest running this week where the person who posts the best clip, that's when you watch a video on Twitch, there's a little it's like a little box and a little thing that looks like this, and you check it, and basically it takes the last 30 seconds of the stream. It's like something funny happens, you click that button, it records it, and you send the link in Discord. The person that has the funniest link is going to get a video game. It's not going to be like Battlefield 1, but it'll be something like Stardew Valley or something along those lines. So I've got a big O box of games that I can give away. And if you are interested in doing that, you need to watch the stream, do some clips. And then the Friday after Thanksgiving, so not this Friday, but next Friday, we're going to have another Pyro-a-thon, which starts off as a 6-hour stream. Based on donations and subs, we can go all the way up to 24 hours. We went 18 hours this week. So on Friday, we went 18, well, just shy of 18. I think it was like 17:30. Yeah, 17 or 18 hours. We went from noon to, I think it was 6 a.m., I think. So anyways, I hope you guys are excited about it. I know some of you guys are going to be disappointed, but, I'm doing the best I can. That's the best I can do. It's the only thing I can do. So like I said, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. As always, if you like this video, please slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.